I'll keep this very short and sweet, just as a thought starter, just to show you a little bit where our heads are at. My name's Daniel, it's Courtney. We work with Scotiabank Arena in a customer service, customer-facing position. And we do a lot with the accessibility issues on an event-to-event basis. As you know, Scotiabank Arena is the home of the Toronto Raptors, Toronto Maple Leafs, and also about 100 to 150 live events across the year when it comes to concerts, stand-up comedians, so on and so forth. But our topic started very broad. Obviously, we have a very diverse fan base coming into our venue every single night. We have 20,000 fans and very different needs when it comes to accessibility, whether it's wheelchair accessibility, if it's hard of hearing or vision impaired. We decided to sort of focus in on the audible and also visual requirements for our fans when they come into the venue. Now, our focus originally was around the deaf community and what accommodations need to be made, but then we broadened it a little bit. I believe it was actually Thomas that was talking. He has an Austrian accent, and even sometimes I had to ask him to repeat himself just due to basic understanding with each other. So when you talk about the purchasing process and dealing with our customer service representatives, it's not just the deaf community, it's also just being able to understand each other and all the fans that we are dealing with to make sure communication is clear. So we actually walked through a few scenarios. If you want to flip to the next slide. So scenario one, and I'll have John sort of talk a little bit to the solution and the software that we propose to make it a better experience for our fans. But you look at here, our ticket office. So a fan attending an event at Scotiabank Arena requires audible and visual assistance to purchase tickets and to enjoy the event. You want to go for all one? Okay, yeah, we'll go to the next one. And then also a fan requires a designated space for accessibility purposes, seating, audible needs, or visually impaired. And a fan chooses to sit in their preferred seat that they acquire through the purchasing process instead of the suite itself. Going back to the first scenario. Okay. So then we'll speak to the solutions for each of those scenarios.
And so throughout this process, we looked at how to integrate existing spaces and technology throughout the user journey, from purchasing the tickets to actually attending the event. And so how can we implement this solution that doesn't attract away from the user's physical experience, but includes accessibility throughout the whole process? And so first we used, when purchasing the ticket, either online or in the physical, we looked at when actually purchasing the ticket online, and including a feature where people can indicate that they require accessibility needs, and then they would be sent information where they would be able to locate and when to actually attend the event where everything is located, and it would indicate to the actual arena that an actual number of people who require this. And then within the people who don't have accessibility to web-based, they are able to go and physically purchase tickets where there's assistive technology, where there is a text-to-speech when live speaking to a representative who would then make note of their accessibility needs as well. Next slide. And then we look at the spatial components with integrating that with adaptive technology as well. And so instead of, per se, when we looked at people who require interpreters, instead of requiring space for multiple interpreters, we looked at creating a universal design where you have a live streaming feed where an individual will also be allocated and a group of people with accessibility needs be allocated to a space where it accommodates them both for mobile, audible, and visually impaired needs. You integrate technology such as screens or augmented reality where they're able to see an interpreter live on the screen for everyone in this area, and they are able to see through different cameras on a screen closer up if they are visually impaired as well. And then next. We look at using augmented reality where the individuals are still within that space. However, they are able to see a universal design where an interpreter is actually projected. Instead of having to look at an interpreter and then the design space and visual spatial component, they're able to have this interpreter complement the actual visual component of the experience without detracting away from their line of sight and the experience overall. people who choose to sit anywhere have this general insight and experience the same concert or event as everyone else despite their impairments.
Say nice for you? Okay. Any questions or suggestions, guys?
Do you want to add any suggestion? Really, really fast? 1, 2, 3. Next group! Thank you.